Welcome to the AIWs. The card is going to change. That's right. Don't feel like you need to tune your radio or nothing. This is not your normal host, Steve Guy. My name is Ronald Legz. I'm here with AIW owner John Thorne. We're Steve Guyless this week, so we're just gonna go
substitute teacher.
There's no rules this week. First and foremost, we want to thank our sponsors, of course, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue. If you've ever been to an AIW Odeon show or plenty of other shows at Toy, Ohio, they do all kinds. Smokin' Jay's everywhere. His food is great. Make sure you check him out. Big fan here. John, I know they're good because you've eaten it before and you're like super picky on food. So that's a pretty good barometer for like.
I had the macaroni and cheese. I didn't have any of the barbecue choices.
This still counts. This still counts.
That's as far as I dove in. But equally as picky eater Matt Wadsworth recently hired Smokin' Jay's to cater a private event. So
there you go.
And he's just as picky, if not pickier than I am. So
I did that.
He's bringing them in.
I did that for my kid's birthday last year, and everyone was ranting and raving about it. I got all kinds of like great reviews. I'm like, I didn't cook the food. They,
right.
Also, IWTV, big sponsor, Jerry's Internet Wrestling Emporium, of course. Make sure you go there. We still got a code word. Is that shows like who watches it through what, right? We have a code word you got to enter if you sign up.
So they don't do the promo codes anymore, but if you sign up with referral code Absolute, they give us a little bit of extra kickback for everybody that we get to sign up. So go ahead and use promo code Absolute because I need those kickbacks.
Yeah. It's a good way to track who's signing up for who. It doesn't give you any money off anymore, but still good for the company.
There's a lot of stuff on there. So it's, any little extra leverage you can get with the network certainly doesn't hurt, right?
I was talking to somebody recently about it and my family, and they're like, because they had the idea before, like they, separate ideas. They're like, is there anywhere that you can like stream that kind of independent stuff? And I was like, actually there is. And I was like telling him about it. And he was thinking that it was like, it's actually like my uncle. He was like thinking that he had this profound idea, like, and I was like, they actually have that. And it's fucking crazy. There's like 100 shows on there. You know what I mean? I was like, there's tons of shit. He's like, no kidding. And then I brought it up on my phone. He's like, you can watch it on your phone. I was like, yeah, dude, it's right here.
Yeah, it is definitely kind of it's a brave new world. Like just how much things have evolved. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I like it. Sometimes I just wish it was back to the old way where we were selling DVDs and getting a check at the end of the month or whatever. It depends on the week on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I think like everything live makes it so forgotten by like Monday morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot less stress too. Like when we do non-live show, like do shows to tape or this or that, you're like somebody like come in the back. They're like, what's the time? It's like, dude, just go out there. Who cares? When we're live, it's like, you better be on that shit. Like,
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess, you are the substitute teacher, but we should talk about your big promotion that you did.
Oh, hell yeah.
What are you,
my senior audio engineer now?
Yeah, senior audio engineer, vice president of audio visual department.
Yes, hell yeah.
Yeah. So you are now going to be the just full-time sound guy. You've been dabbling here and there, and with we would have because the Odeon kind of has pretty much everything. Yeah. And we started having students do it and stuff like that. And a funny story about that is when we booked Matt Cardona versus Dominic Guarini, he is so oblivious. Like he literally thought Dom was the sound guy. And like, he was like, why am I wrestling the sound guy? Because at the Odeon, Dom would
hit the button.
He would like run it, or he would have a student there running it, and it would run off of his Surface Pro.
Yeah.
And
was he there when he spiked it off the ground? Or did he see him get all mad that time? And that's why he was like, wait a minute, I'm wrestling this guy.
I'm not sure
Do
if
you
he would have
remember
been
that?
there
I
or
know
not.
you remember that.
Oh yeah, Alex Zane's music file didn't work, and Dom threw his Surface Pro across the fucking whole gorilla position backstage at the Odeon. And I said, well, now the music certainly isn't going to work.
And that's what's funny about that gig though too, is like a lot of names that come in. Like I always feel like I'm fucking annoying everyone because I'm like, hey, like trying to like hit everyone up before the show, like what's the song? Because the internet fucking blows in these buildings. Like it just does. So like finding
Yeah.
anything itself is a task. Then getting it to a point where you can play it like downloaded to your phone without just malwaring the fuck out of your computer. Like it's a whole thing. So
We
always
need
try to get
Napster
it
back,
early,
man.
but yeah.
We need Napster back. You know what? Like it's crazy because like everything has gone to like these streaming music sites, so it's
Yeah.
like you can't even like really find like illegal like downloadable files for music. It's like pretty hard these days, honestly. You know,
Yeah,
like you got to like rip from YouTube, or you know what I mean? Like it used to be so easy. You know, LimeWire, you might get a virus, you might get, you know, whatever, Napster. Like now it's just everything's like on Spotify or Apple Music. So if you have a shitty internet connection, which, you know, in these buildings, especially when they're streaming, they're pulling like every ounce of bandwidth that the building can pump out. So like to get your fucking apps up and running at the Odeon is nearly impossible.
So that's part of it too for me, is especially in Akron. It's like that side of the coin. It's like the two sides of the coin for me. Cause like Brit, for example, her music, that's like I forget the Downstate or some fucking like butt rock band. That's just on Apple Music. Like you sent me the YouTube one and I didn't even have to use any one of these like rip to YouTube MP3 fucking whatever apps. I just went to Apple Music and played it. So like sometimes it's for the better because like popular shit is just on these music sites and I can just download it to my thing and yada yada. It's a whole thing. But then another thing with what you're saying with the internet at Akron, I just hotspot it straight to from my phone, which is an LTE, to my computer. Like I don't even use the fucking building because in Akron it is like the Sahara Desert for internet service in that fucking building.
Yeah,
I don't know how they streamed it. I don't know how they did that because
I don't know, like because they had tested it before and they were just like no, and then Robles showed up and was like, yeah, so when do you want to send the tweet out? And I was like, what tweet? He's like, oh, we're going to stream live. And it was like at 90 minutes before the show or an hour before the show or something. I was like, oh, well, I was like, well, you guys can go ahead and announce it then if, you know, like you think you can make it happen. Yeah. So I don't know what they did or how they got it to that point, but
yeah, it's hard to say because there's no way he ran like a stream from his phone. I mean, I'm downloading songs. It's a little different, but yeah, I don't know. Kudos to Robles because that dude rules.
Yeah, he's always able to kind of, you know, he's like a MacGyver of all things. He's kind of like Pedro for video work. And
he's the A-team guy, I feel like, you know?
Yeah, love Robles, but we do have a show Friday, which will be streaming.
Yeah. Odeon.
You know what's crazy is we never made it around the cycle at the Odeon for the marquee shows. So the first show was the rap show, and then we, with COVID and everything, we never made it fully around the horn.
Yeah, so because shit got canceled. Right.
So this is like the first, like, second annual whatever at the Odeon, which is kind of crazy because it feels like we've been at the Odeon for way longer than we actually have. Yeah,
I've said that about like COVID and the pandemic in general. Like it could put this big gap in like hole in memory and stuff, and wrestling especially because, you know, you're on like a timeline of like an up and down, like you're saying, like in a circle of what the events that we do. And yeah, it was just such a weird, but we did do the rap show at the Odeon. Man, that was the one that went off the balcony, right?
Yeah, that was the first show, the Phoenix no show, and then going off the balcony. So keep their heads ringing. It was the first show ever at the Odeon. So it's kind of crazy that it's taken this long.
That means, I mean, the rap show, no rules. That's gotta ring true because the story that I heard, you were like, no fucking way. They snuck that from you going off the balcony. So there's definitely no rules because you would not have approved that.
No, I said no, and they just kind of went and did it. And you know, because they were kind of looking at it earlier because Matt Justice had run a show at the Odeon like years and years and years ago. So he knew like the entire layout of the building.
Mhm.
And I said like, absolutely not. Like, that's just too insane. And then they went and did it. And it's like, oh, I can't, how can I stop it in the middle of the match,
It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, ever. It was, that was great.
So I don't know,
Mr. Whiskers.
Whiskers is in the house now, rubbing
Love
the
that cat.
microphone.
It's a weekly guest.
Go ahead.
Are there tickets left? How are we hard selling this? Is it we pay-per-view hard sell? Sign up IWTV. We still got tickets at the door. Come see me and Pedro at the door. Or what are we talking here?
We got, so for whatever reason, which is a little worrisome, is some of the premium tickets are still available as we're recording, which has me a little nervous. You know what I mean? Like, typically, things have been selling and trending a little bit faster than this show has sold, and like, I don't know if people are just kind of GAing it, and just like saying, fuck it for a seat. But like, we still have stage seats left, which is those go like instantly.
Yeah, maybe people just don't know, because those are great seats. That stage seating is that's like the best place to view.
Yeah, so we have 5 stage seats left, which is a little nerve-wracking, and then we have 12 second rows left. But like, people are like eating up the GA tickets, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But as of now, tickets will still be available at the door. We're nowhere near like that Minoru Suzuki draw, which is, to be expected. Sure. But, I did expect it to kind of be somewhere closer to a middle ground from that, which, we still have a little bit to go until we get to that middle ground halfway point. So,
do you think there's anything to like in the summertime at all, that because the weather's nice, that you get a lot of people who walk up?
Well,
just like, it's nice out, whatever. Like, I'm just,
that was like the old indie wrestling thing, right? Was
walk up.
Well, no, it was like you gotta ease your schedule back in the summertime. You can't compete with the summertime. So like, summer was like the death time to run shows.
Okay.
So like, we would even kind of, almost only do Absolution for a while, right? And then, depending on where that fell, there wouldn't be too much before or after. And then, as time has gone on, the Jaylit would be in like May, which would lead to like a June, July Absolution. And then Wrestle Rager became a thing, so then, you're in August, and now like it seems like, people really liked the outdoor shows, you know what I mean? So,
oh yeah,
I don't know, like and I talked about this, I think last week, but I feel like maybe I got a little too overambitious with the summer schedule, but maybe I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it, when I'm booking the schedule, it's coming like fresh out of COVID. We're not out of COVID, but you know what I mean? Like, to where we can start booking venues. So I'm just like, okay, we're going here. You know what I mean? And like, I looked at calendar and, I'm like, okay, Odeon these dates, Tadmore Shrine these dates, Winchester these dates. And now, then like, Class came back for Rager, and then
I think the stuff that we did last year, the extra stuff like the Street Fair and the Geek Fest, all that extra stuff that we did, everyone loved. So then they added us back, like you're saying, all our regular dates are back. Then now we got all these extra shit, so it's like on top. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, and it's like, it's kind of like the same thing. So it's like, they came back for the Great Lakes Wrestle Fest again this year, and so it's like, okay, let's plan. Like, I think last year the double shot was too ambitious, the double shot weekend, but let's keep that on the schedule. The North Canton Street Fest is back again in August, so I don't know, we are right now, we only have one in September. So trying to ease back, but we were approached this week about doing something in Kent in September potentially. So I don't know. I worry that, and I know that eventually like the bubble's going to pop and like it's going to go back to kind of how it was, where it was like a bit of a struggle, right? Like we've been riding this like excitement out of COVID for like the last year, and now it's kind of like it's by no means like going to be a bomb on Friday, but it's kind of a bit of a reality check, and it makes me a little nervous about the rest of the summer, and is it like people can go outside and do all this other fun stuff and they don't want to don't want to come to wrestling? Like, I don't know.
I think we have going for us the fact that J-Lit is one of them. That's a tournament that a lot of people, people been looking forward to that. It didn't happen last year. It got canceled. So you got to figure people been waiting for that. That's like a marquee one. Absolution, you're going to pack the building. So I think we got a couple things going for us. It's ambitious, sure, but I don't know. I think people post-COVID or not, people are still jazzed to go out and do stuff. Even I don't think there's like, I don't know. I think people saw how when that got taken away from us, like what it was like. So people are just doing stuff, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like I could just be nervous and overhyping the potential
promoter
of
Johnning right now.
Yeah, because like I feel like I live, in reality, unlike a lot of people in wrestling as a whole. Sure. So I'm always looking at like this realistically could happen, this could go wrong. I'm really never too over ambitious about success, so I'm a little nervous. Like like I was looking at today, I was like, I don't know, like should we squeeze that July Winchester show in? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like, again, that's a cheaper ticket and it's kind of a different vibe, and then, different talents are on it. So I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of, just nervous, and everything's going to be fine. We'll wait and see, but we're trying to do things and at least make them somewhat different, so it's, not all the same shit, right? Like, you got the rap show Friday. We're gonna do AIW 3D at the Winchester with Shark Boy, and it's gonna be kind of like a beachy, like fun vibe, like almost like it, like almost like not canon but canon with AIW. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be super like story based, like driven show, but like more of like a fun standalone event. I like those Winchester shows to kind of be.
It's like it's like a Wrestle Raver, how we did that, but it's almost like a summer beach. I'll play like fucking beach, like surf rock.
Get the we'll play some Jagalins. Get the Jagalins on there.
Definitely, I like that as like a standalone. Yeah, like
and then I think Absolution is going to be fine. I'm working on a couple cool things for that I think will turn out okay. You know what I mean? Obviously, would have been more than fine before the Matt Cardona stuff. But he's obviously not going to be able to compete at Absolution at this point. So we got to make some changes, and I think we've come up with a decent enough solution. And then you have the Great Lakes WrestleFest in Ashtabula, which the people that are putting that on are great to work with. And I guess you can comment on this. This is going to be, I assume, the first ever live Pod Van Dam, right?
So like that essentially is all Ed has ever wanted to do with the show. Like that was like, if anybody ever asked him like, oh, well, be like your goal of like PVD to be, he just wanted to do it live somewhere at some point. So like, I think getting to do this is like he's even said a couple times, like, don't fuck this up for me, guys. Like, don't you fuck this up for me. Like he can't wait. I think it's going to be pretty great. Have you announced all the shows that are on? Everyone, like, is everything announced yet or?
Yeah. So I announced all the, everything, all the podcasts at least last week.
Okay.
So it's going to be you guys at odds with wrestling,
Yeah.
wrestling cheers, and the card is going to change. So, four live podcasts. Yep. I'm thinking like 45 minutes or something each, and just do our thing, I spoke to them, and, I told last year, that it was the first time they ever did it, and, they had a band, and they wanted to call it WrestleFest, but other than
was not it, bro.
other than AIW, it wasn't much of a WrestleFest, right? So I was like, well, there's these podcasts, and I don't know what they could do to potentially draw people in, but I think it at least adds to the theme of it being a WrestleFest, and we're definitely going to hit all these different kind of little fan pockets, with the different shows.
So I know we're planning to do like wrestling related material. Our show is kind of loosely wrestling based, but like we're going to cater it more towards wrestling for the show. But it's also like you just have to think that for wrestling podcasts is going to be more about wrestling than a band playing like Leonard Skinner covers is. Like if I like last year was cool, we hung out, but I wasn't like trying to get there early or nothing because it was just some band playing. Now if people are sitting over there in that parking lot, or they know to come early because like somebody's going to interview a wrestler, or we're going to, so we talk about, well, like, let's rent a dunk tank and like dunk a wrestler or something. Like, I don't know. This is throwing out the dumbest things. Like,
I actually pitched that. I pitched that, and they shot it down. I said, we should charge money to dunk the Duke.
Oh man, that would be a great idea. Who turned it down? The WrestleFest people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's money they didn't like. I don't know.
They were worried about like
the Duke can't swim,
liability or something. And the Duke wasn't too happy that he was the pitch, but
he was the first name thrown out. I mean, he has to know that he's the household heel in AIW.
I mean, that would have, dude. They could have bought
money.
They could have bought the Ashtabula Fairgrounds, I think, with Dunk the Duke. I mean,
like the money that you do, like we'll do raffles for stuff. Like, oh, signs, Jeff Jarrett hits him with a guitar and then signed it. Like, there's got to be a record somewhere. The dunking the Duke at a dunk tank, that's gonna go up there for some kind of price record.
We might have to. We might have to look into a dunk tank and do a big absolution tailgate on July 23rd.
Man. You know what? To be honest, we have driven by there. That Akron place had a fucking dunk tank in there, but they've done it before, so they're not going to give us no bullshit about not doing it. Because I remember that we drove by the one time when we used to come early and be like, "Are they dunking people in a dunk tank over there?"
Yeah, maybe for like when they do the haunted house or something.
Yeah, it definitely. So that in itself is definitely going to draw, in my opinion. Like if I was if I wasn't doing the podcast or whatever, was just a fan of it. I would want to go early for stuff like that because it was cool. They had vendors with some kind of wrestling stuff, but like the other entertainment last year just wasn't wrestling. So now this year, bringing in more stuff, I think is a great idea.
Yeah, and they're working with Rick from Toy Hio to kind of get some more high-end vendors in the vendor space. So we are. I'm hoping. They're worried obviously because last year they did it, and it was okay, but not a lot of people were there for the festival portion of it. They have higher expectations this year, obviously. So, that's why I pitched the hardcore tournament, the Fonzie hardcore tournament, which I would hope would draw people in, you know what I mean? To make the trip. It's going to be, we just kind of ironed out the details. It's going to be 8 guys, for this Fonzie belt, which is probably going to be more along the lines of like the Owen Hart stuff in AEW. Like, I don't think it's going to be a defended belt, but kind of like more of like a trophy that is won every year.
Like the Andre every year in WWE, there's one winner every year. Like, you don't take the belt around with you. That year you won the Fonzie tournament. You're the Fonzie tournament winner.
And the thought is, and the thought is if this becomes a yearly thing, which is really in the hands of the fans, if they come out and support it, my thought is whoever wins the Fonzie hardcore tournament will main event Russell Rager and, some kind of, whatever, a championship opportunity or something like that. You know what I mean? To where, we
little
could tie
stakes
it in.
On the line,
Yeah. A little stakes. And, we got an interesting talent crop. It's not just going to be AIW people. So we should be rolling those announcements out here shortly. I'm just waiting on, to start getting some of the graphics from Jesse the Mark, but I'm pretty excited for what we were able to put together.
Nice. Okay.
What are your thoughts on the whole hardcore tournament thing?
I think that's a pretty sweet idea, and I like the idea of it's not like a belt, like a thing, but it's a once a year tournament that and then that honor is bestowed upon you for the year. You know what I mean? Like, I like it like that. Like, I don't think we need another belt in AIW, but a tournament, and then like you said, then the winner gets his shot. Wrestle Rager main event, which is another like great freaking like wild ass show of the year. Like.
Right. I think to try to like connect them in like two different parts of the state. You know what I mean? Like, you want to come here to see this.
Wrestle Rager is more of a one-off kind of thing too. Like, it's not in the line of like grand scheme of like AIW, like how things go. Like, but this will kind of give it its own. So like, okay, so like the tournament happens every year. Then you get to see, Wrestle Rager's the conclusion of that. Like, I don't know. I kind of like the two-parter with it. It kind of, it adds more depth to our lineup. And
you know what my thought is okay, let's move around a little bit, the marquee event schedule, but so Absolution is kind of like the end. Obviously there's some things that were impacting the original Absolution card, right? Like Tom Lawler just got picked to go to the G1, so he's going to be gone. So there's some things that need to be revamped for the Absolution card right now. But my idea is Absolution is, we kind of end whatever's going on. And then, we'll do this Fonzie tournament. We'll do the North Canton thing. And then J-Lit kind of like resets a little bit, as far as like you can start now that J-Lit is not mashed in the, just randomly before Absolution, you can kind of start with a new story or new contender or whatever heading into the fall. Right. And then you close out the summer. With Wrestle Rager every year. Yeah, I think it's a good timeline. Personally, I think it was things were moved around, but I like it because it's still fun. Because I work for the company, but like I was a fan for so long that I still can easily just put that hat back on too and like give my opinion like that. Like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Because I sit in the back and you know what I mean now, but I still was just a fan for how long, Yeah, and I think it's just I don't know. I'm always trying to think of little ways to tweak things and make things better. Which for those people listening, J-Lit is August 19th and 20th, and I had a few people ask me if it was real or not, but we did make a promo code because IWA Mid-South canceled King of the Death match and all of their remaining schedule, so we did make a promo code KOTDM and you'll get 20% off J-Lit weekend passes, and that promo code will be active until Sunday night. So what happened now? Why did he cancel it now again? I don't remember. I mean, it's like a whole thing. Like I guess he wasn't paying people, and probably talking about it on my show right now, huh? somebody they lit the belts on fire on Twitter because they weren't paid, and like all these people pulled on. It's like a whole thing that I don't really want to get into because it's like a whole like rabbit hole of like craziness. Is there another podcast where you could hear about news like that? Maybe. Yeah, probably. It's probably going to be on yours this week. Heavily talked about. But like I don't know how many fans bought tickets or whatever, but and now it was running the same exact days as J-Lit. So we threw a little promo code out there. I don't know if anyone's gonna use it or not, but I figured we could, discount those people because who knows if they'll ever see their money back. Yeah. It's pretty nice. I'm trying to John Thorne give back. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, like it's crazy that it's happened so many times and people continue to fall for it. But, that's just the wrestling world. Yeah, wrestling's a funny business. And when I say funny, I mean carnival. Yeah, it's just crazy. So yeah, that's kind of the schedule though for what we're doing in the summer, which is a little worrisome, but you know, kicking off the summer Friday, right? With Gangsta Rap Made Me Do It. We have Bandito, we have Jack Evans.
From the heavens, Jack Evans, baby. I'm so excited for Friday. I can't wait.
Couple other surprises, obviously. Matt Cardona will be sending a mystery opponent to take on Josh Bishop. So that's one surprise that I know of for sure that I think people will be pretty excited about.
I like the idea that there's still tickets available and you are like nervous about it, because in my experience, like, you're a surprise guy. Like, people shouldn't miss shows that, like, you can't miss one in AIW, man. You can't. You got to come to them all. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think
you get spiteful about shit like that.
Yeah, I do. And a lot of people would call me, an idiot for not advertising the Britt Baker stuff, which, we could have probably sold 500 more tickets if we would advertise that. But it was such a moment, right?
That's one of the coolest parts about wrestling to me is and has always been, is like the surprise shit. And when you can give and deliver on a surprise that big and that cool, like, hell yeah. Like, I'm with you. I think the surprise was fucking sweet. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got another one of those lined up for Friday, hopefully just as big of a reaction. That's my hope. So we're going to see what happens. But yeah, I think it's a great card. Obviously we had to maneuver a few things around, right? Because of the Matt Cardona injury, and it forced me to kind of tighten the card up a little bit and change a few things around. But I still think, it's a great card. You have Jack Evans, Bandito, Chase Oliver, M-Dog, Uncle Chase, and Mikey Montgomery, and probably the craziest scramble of all time.
That's gonna be sick. I can't wait. I'm glad it's the Odeon with a high ceiling for that one. You know what I'm saying?
Isaiah Broner versus Manders, which I think anybody that watched the Gauntlet saw a little bit of that setup there.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
And also, the whole show is no rules. Fans are permitted to bring weapons if they want. And they will be collected at the door.
I was going to say, be very specific when you say that, because we got crazy motherfuckers be concealing shit under a coat. Like, you have to disclose them at the beginning of the show at the door. You have to leave them with Pedro or someone. You can't just be bringing shit and tossing it in the ring whenever you feel like.
Right. And, preferably no glass or anything like that. But
no tubes.
No
Sneak
tubes.
Some tubes in. John won't know.
And, we'll just, so if you want to bring weapons, bring them and give them to Pedro at the door. And we'll bring them in the back. Casey Carrington versus Dominic Guarini, straight up 1-on-1, no rules, anything goes. Bulking Season versus the main event versus the Jellyville Fuckets versus members only. Wes Barkley versus Eric Taylor. Joshua Bishop versus the mystery person. Filthy Tom versus Kaplan versus Jackson Stone versus Twan Tucker. That's just another fucking
RIP to the ring. I mean, that's just banger after banger, and then you name that, like, Jesus Christ. Like.
And then Jocelyn Navarro and Katie Arquette, adding a little layer to their mini feud that's been going on with the no rules, anything goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, and I think it's a good card. I'm pretty happy with the surprise stuff that is on deck and hopefully going to come through. It will stream live, obviously, on IWTV. We do have plenty of tickets available currently. Just
because it's streaming don't mean you don't need to show up. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Come see their live. The last time, let's remind people, the last rap show where there was no rules, two individuals went off a fucking balcony. So this is a show you want to go. If you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, man. If you like wrestling, you like in your face shit, this is the rap show is the one to go to.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's kind of setting the tone for the summer, right? We have the rap show now in the summer. You have the Bill Alfonso tournament in the summer, and you end the summer, kind of bookend it with Wrestle Rager. So I'm hoping that this sets the tone for just the craziest summer in AIW history. Honestly, that's kind of the plan going into Friday night. I do have some news on the after party. I know that there's a lot of people asking in the Discord. We are going back to Dive Bar on Friday night for the after party. We will not be at the Odeon Lounge. I know that there are some people that are like iffy on Dive Bar. So just so you know that they're making specials for the AIW fans. They're going to do $4 PBRs, $3 Dos Equis, $3 Jameson Orange shots, $3 cold brews, $3 Pink Whitney, and $3 Absolute Lime shots. I don't know what a big Pink Whitney is, or
that's the Barstool thing. There's like they got like their own vodka and shit. So it's not even that's not even like bullshit. Like, oh, you get a fucking well drink for bull. Like they're giving you doing like actual shit. Yeah,
name brand stuff for cheap.
Yeah. Absolute Lime is good. I mean, those are good.
Right. Which that's good stuff. I know some people were. They're a little like, I think they think it's expensive without even going in and checking it out. So, they're doing drink specials all night for the AIW fans. It looks like that's what it's going to be. $4 PBRs in downtown Cleveland is pretty sick deal.
What I didn't know about that place either too is there's a whole little other side room where everyone kind of goes and hangs out. Because the first time I went there, I didn't really like love it. Truth be told, that I've been kind of vocal about not loving that place. But they do have like a whole other side room that I didn't even know about. That like if you're not like into the whole like okay, there's just random downtown people. Pretty much everyone in the side room is just AIW people. So it's not like
and they do eventually open it up, but. For a while, I think they wait until like midnight or 12:30 or something to open it up. And then, it becomes part of the, whole bar or whatever. But I do think that Josh Goldstein is coming and he's going to try to acquire, like a booth area or something like that.
Shouts to Jay Gold.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Gold. So, yeah, I mean...
we didn't do the shout-out section. Steve is going to be fucking pissed.
That's his segment, though. You can't...
Right, good call.
You can't...
That's why we did it, because it's his. We didn't want... Not because we forgot.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know that, like, we've been kind of, trying to find that great after-party spot. Good Company was obviously, a great time, and so was the Funhouse. But you know what I mean. I can't go to those places anymore. The Funhouse doesn't want to pay for it, and when all the fans go there without paying for it, they're never going to pay for it. So that's kind of taken the Funhouse off the table. And Good Company is obviously no longer under the ownership of our good friend Jonah. So we tried the Odeon to make it, like it's just right there, and people didn't stick around. We saw more success with the Dive Bar as far as fans going and enjoying it.
Yeah,
obviously not all fans went and enjoyed it, but we saw far more of a turnout there than when we were going to the Odeon Lounge. And I think with Dive Bar doing the drink specials and things like that, hopefully makes it work for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you can't please everybody. It's going to happen, so it is what it is with that.
Right. And, that's the thing is, the after parties are, they're about having fun, but they're also about, creating some revenue for the company. And, that's what we're trying to do.
I'll go wherever the Duke goes. He's the most.
The Duke, I don't think the Duke's ever gone into Dive Bar, actually.
I was gonna say, I know he goes to after parties because I've hung out with him. He's my favorite because like watching wrestling with the Duke is the best, and then the after party, like him breaking down matches and stuff, is my favorite.
Yeah. So maybe we can get the Duke out there on Friday night.
Let's try it. Let's see what. Let's give it a go. Let's see if we can get the Duke out there.
We're calling him out right now. The Duke. There are. Well, is there anything you wanted to bring up or ask or anything?
I mean, as far as like the live show, all that stuff, we're trying to keep it. Probably, I don't know. I don't think we're going to surprise. Like, not it's going to be a surprise or anything. We'll probably announce it, but nothing. We don't have anything set in stone yet, so I don't want to say anything, and then be tied to it. So we have a lot of ideas and some good things going, but I don't want to say anything yet per se. As far as AIW goes, I'm excited for the summer. I think we should. I think you should take that poster that you got with all the dates on there, and at the end of the summer, we should get posters printed up because the summer is it's gonna be fucking sweet, and we're gonna want to remember all these dates that we did. I'm feeling pretty ambitious personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool idea. And we're also kind of getting in the game of sending surprise posters out to people on Patreon. They're going to be getting some stuff in the mail here in the next week or so. And that could be a cool little thing, is that schedule that we did, you know what I mean? Cause I don't know if we're ever going to run this hard again. I know some indies run fucking 75 times a month, but, I don't know if we're ever going to do this hard of a schedule, or maybe we'll do this schedule every summer from now on. I don't know. I mean, it's really in the hands of the fans and all that. To see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great summer. What else I want? We getting new staff shirts? What's up with that?
Yeah, I actually paid for them today, to be honest with you.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think they will be there on Friday. I did pay for them today, so there'll be new staff shirts. There's some new shirts for the Academy. Got a few questions in the Discord. You may have to fill in for Steve Guy. If anyone was asking questions for him, you may have to answer on his behalf. Let's
take a look. Do we have any questions in the Discord?
Question for Hard Sell. Has the after party location been set? We just announced that for you. Scott Random. A Rose has a few questions. How did the Passion Rap come to be? And are you issuing the Passion Rap Challenge to the public? Well, I guess I should give some context to that.
Yeah, the food, right? Yeah.
So, the one AIW fan, I believe his name is Mortimer.
Yeah.
They call him Mo. He works for these bars in Parma Heights, and I think he runs their food special program, and he's been doing specials named after AIW people. I don't know if the patrons of this bar know what the fuck he's even talking about, but like he'll name stuff after AIW people. In fact, like last week they actually bought sausage off of Kaplan. Like Kaplan,
I saw that one. Yeah.
Made his own sausage, and they bought sausage off of him for the Pally sausage sub or something. Like,
he's Kaplan, a fucking gem, that guy, dude. Like, are you kidding? He has his own Kaplan sausage, man. Like,
he like stuffed his own sausage links or whatever. And they
see him in there with the thing, cranking the thing and just filling the sausage things.
Yeah, so they did that
in that episode of Seinfeld where they're making the sausage.
And they made like
in his mouth.
they made a breakfast wrap after me on Saturday, I think, called like the Passion Breakfast Wrap or something. It was like corned beef hash and eggs and like a wrap with tater tots. And to try to, drum up some business for my rap, I said in the Discord that if anybody could eat 10 and a half hour, I would do a dog collar match against Josh Bishop.
10 in a 10-hour period, you're saying?
No, 10 in 30 minutes.
Oh, 10 in 30 minutes.
Like a man versus food.
There's no way. 10 of those things, one of those things look massive. 10 is just an insane number.
Well, it's 10 orders, so you got to do the tots too.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's insane. That's like 10 baked potato. That'd be crazy. Holy shit.
So if anybody really wants that dog collar match, those are the terms. You got to go to Rookies and do 10 of the passion wrap meals. Razor Sharp actually went and tried. Did you know that?
Yes, I saw he went because he asked about the hours. He said, "Will you be able to do it?" I know they did one for Tom Dunn too, and then he brought somebody from like PA and they like made it for him, even though it wasn't on the menu that week. Like it was like a weekly special, but they're like, you know what, fuck, we'll make it anyway. So like, yeah, they're making people's dreams out there at Rookies. I live right by that place. I'm about to go fucking eat there.
But no, I'm saying Razor Sharp tried to do the
challenge.
Food. Yeah,
get out of here! He tried to do 10 of them.
He did, and he said he made it through 2.5, and he had to tap out.
Oh man, yeah, they're massive burritos. Shouts to Razor Man for doing 2.5 because I don't even think I could finish one. It's like a massive wrap.
He said he's trying to do God's work for the fans in the Discord.
You know, that man, he's a true gem. Razor Sharp. He would try for the fans. That's a good guy.
That's my only shout out. Shout out to the Razor Man, Razor Sharp.
Same.
And then
they ain't ready.
I guess you can answer this.
Man,
for the both of you,
the Father's Day one.
Yeah, since Father's Day is on Sunday, what's something you admire about your dad and take to heart?
So my father, and this is a good one. My father is like a very good driver, and he like raised me to be like a really good driver. And he just doesn't take any shit at all. So like, if you ever in the like riding in the car,
I know your
dad. Father,
your dad yelled at me once when we did that show in Brook Park. We were yelling at each other at Nax.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, he'll like if you like cut him out, like just listening to my father in traffic and just like, oh, he'll be like driving like, oh, this fucking asshole. Like it's just like classic dad shit. I just love it. I love my dad for that. He's great.
Yeah, I don't even really know how to answer that, really. I mean, I think the thing that I admire, which it's what I think is crazy, is like at my age, my dad had like no life anymore. You know what I mean? Like he was just like, I'm going to work, and this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm going to work, supporting the family. That's it.
Yeah, it is
like,
wild what they got. Like my dad, the same way. Like what they had accomplished at this age. Like my dad, when I'm 38,
I feel like
my dad had done at 38. I'm like, fuck me, shit.
Right. I feel like our generation is just far too selfish. You know what I mean? And like self-centered.
So different too for like housing and shit though too, man. It is a lot different as far as like what you can buy for when our age.
Right. It's like I'm going to work and I'm not doing anything with any of my old friends anymore. I'm coming home, I'm drinking some beers, and then I'm going to bed. I'm waking up, I'm going to work again. Like that's it. Like it's crazy. Like I could never imagine doing that. Honestly, like not just like sacrificing everything to like just make sure the bills are paid. I don't know if I could do that.
See, my dad was always good for that. Like he always had like 4 or 5 jobs, but it was always at least shit he liked. Like my dad's like a roadie and shit, like a stagehand. He still is. He's like a stagehand at the Odeon and shit. Like he works for bands and shit. He drives and he just does my dad's constantly working even at his age now, but it's at least shit he likes. So that's cool. I admire that
my dad like worked at the same factory since like 1977 or something. Like
factory guy. Like that's a hard man right there. Like your dad's a hard
factory. Like factory, like every day, like union job, you know what I mean? Like that's it.
Lunch pail type shit, hard hat.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I would say I admired that because I don't think that I could ever do, you know what I mean? I could ever be like that. I'm just far too selfish, I guess, to give up everything, you know what I mean? To just like do a job and make sure the bills are paid. Like I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, your bills are paid. That's admirable. I mean, you're taking care of you.
No, I know, but like, he also had like a family and a house payment, and you know what I mean, and like all that, all that shit. Just crazy.
All right, you want to answer? You're got to be the one to answer this one, I guess. Another one from A Rose. He wants to know with Cardona probably out and the belt's sort of vacant now per se. Do you solely decide what to do, or do you guys have a booking meeting, like a team booking? What do you? I mean, I know the answer. Do you want to tell everyone the?
Well, it's so it's like pretty much me, and then I'll like bounce ideas off people, and like I'll allow people to talk me out of it, or provide an alternative, and then it'll be a debate, and then it will really come down to me going, okay, this is what we're going to do. So it's not like a vote or anything like that. It's really like I'll say, hey, what should we do? This is what I'm thinking about doing. And then ultimately I'll go, okay, I think this is probably the best solution.
Yeah, because I mean, so it ultimately comes down to you. You let other people have input, but it ultimately you are the
right.
best.
Like there's not like a meeting or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the gauntlet is a lot more of people pitching and a lot more of a group creative process. But like the day to day, like anime shows is pretty much me, or like I'll have Dom send me like a shell, and then that will like turn my brain on to be like, nope, do this, move this, you know, like, because sometimes like my brain just won't click on until like I can physically see something, which is weird. But like if I'm like trying to think of it, like it's something as stupid as like even just like typing out potential matches. Like sometimes I just have writer's block or whatever. So I'll be like, Dom, what are we going to do on July 7th? And then he'll be like, how about this? And then once I see it, I usually end up changing a lot of it, but it's like the ability to be able to see it and like move things around and up and down and, you know, put them in different places, or, you know, to change things.
It's like a base layer. Get a base layer down and you can go from there.
I really need it. And that's, you know, like when it was me and Biggins, it would be like us going and sitting at like a Denny's or something.
Denny's was the spot, right?
Denny's or some like weird diner, you know, like there used to be like a place called the Expressway Diner, like right in Old Brooklyn. It was 24 hours. We would go there for like 6 hours, you know, it's closed now, but when it was open, or a Denny's, or like, you know, sometimes we would go to this like diner in Amherst called the Blue Sky Diner Restaurant or whatever. You know, we would just go to places that like were 24 hours, and we would just sit and like just go and go and go and go until something hashed out. Now it's a lot more kind of like remote, you know, with like, you know, Facebook Messenger and texts and, you know, different things like that. There's not that like need to go and sit for like an entire day until something shakes out, which is that's like the old way that we did it, though, is like we would just go and be like, okay, this is the day, we're sitting down and we're figuring it out no matter what. Now it's kind of like,
do you think that was something that you kind of brought from like not a pre-internet era, because the internet has kind of always been around, but just when I say how much internet is around, do you think that like that was what you did back in the indie wrestling days? Let's go to fucking Denny's and let's get a notebook and we're gonna fucking sit there and bullshit until this is done. Well, because there wasn't streaming, or, you know, we couldn't do this shit like how we're doing it now and stuff. You know what I mean? You needed that sitting next to Biggins, bullshitting. Right.
Well, I mean, even if you think about it, like, I mean, I don't know the time frame of it, but like, you weren't able to even have like group messages, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like a group text,
right, through text, right? Exactly. Text wasn't even really a thing, right? Yeah.
Well, like texting was a thing, but I mean, like,
but it was like 10 cents a fucking, and not like it is now. You know, people don't even use the phone anymore. There are people who straight up will not answer. If you pick up and call them, they will not answer. You could text right after, they'll be like, "What do you want? What did you call me? Why did you do that?"
And that's crazy. Like Biggins and I would always talk on the phone. Now I never want to talk on the phone. But like even like Facebook Messenger or like AIM, right? Like you couldn't do like you would have to make like a chat room or something, you know? Like you couldn't be like how it is now, to where like I could add people into this like Facebook Messenger, and like they're all in there and they can all see it, you know, and like they can all respond. Like it's kind of crazy that it wasn't always this way, but
that's kind of come.
Right. That's kind of like the process. And I guess the last one from Justin Summers is, would you ever run a comedy show again? Or is that a one-time thing because of Wrestling Road Diaries 3 with Colt Cabana? You know, I think something like that is like perfect for the Winchester. You know, obviously we ran it because of Wrestling Road Diaries, but that is kind of what is great about these Winchester shows, to where we are kind of, giving them themes and doing different things and trying different things out. Like, we have one right before Halloween, and we're going to do one where just like a show where people just do different gimmicks. Like, it's going to be like total Halloween theme, and like, not like they're going to dress up like their favorite wrestler. Like, they're just going to try completely different gimmicks out and different characters. And then you're never going to see that ever again. It's just going to be like a one night thing, which will probably be more of a comedy show, honestly. But stuff like
because
that,
that's
I think
the easiest
perfect.
way. I mean, to get something over for just one night, comedy. I mean, that's a great show for something like that. But it's going to be inherently funny seeing these guys try something too. You know what I mean? There's like no way not to laugh at it.
What made me think of it is, if you're on the Patreon, I put the footage up on the Patreon before, but last year when I got that Gathering of the Juggalos job, and they wanted to fill out these cards and have these weird gimmicks, like, it was just like the Rip City Shooters, they were fishermen, right? And they were wrestling Shark Boy, and like, they wore like fishermen's outfits, and we bought cheap fishing rods from fucking Amazon,
like,
and they
legit
were
fish sticks box, fucking Sam or Gordon's Fisherman yellow fucking liners,
and they were literally casting reels into the Juggalos. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have hooks on them, but they were like, like casting a reel into the fans and like stuff like that. And like Kaplan wrestled as a bearded lady, and just so when I looked at the schedule, and somebody said something kind of similar, and I was like, oh, like that October show at the Winchester, we're just gonna do all Halloween gimmicks, like we're just gonna do different shit, and it'll be like a one night only kind of fun thing right around Halloween.
I can't wait.
So that should be fun. Man, I don't know. But
our hot summer into that, and then you got that going to look forward to into the Halloween, man. Shit. Can't wait for this.
Yeah, I mean,
schedule.
Yeah, I'm hoping things go well. And we go from there, right? I mean, I'm a little nervous, as I've said, about Friday, but I'm hoping that it turns out to just be a little anxiety or whatever, and everything works out for the best. Yeah. Because I think it's a good show, and we're not back at the Odeon until J-Lit, and then from J-Lit until December we are not at the Odeon. So trying to make the Odeon feel a little bit more special. So we'll see if that works too. I don't know.
I'm excited. Can't miss the rap show, man. Anything goes. A no rules show. How are you gonna miss that shit?
Right. I mean, that's the way I feel. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good. You want me to bring some pizza on Friday or what?
I'm trying to do like low carb, which is so difficult.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. It's like all I eat is fucking carbs.
I know. I mean, I have to be ready in case anyone completes that 10 passion rap challenge.
Yeah.
I have to be ready for the Fonzie tournament day. If if anyone's able to complete it, I'm gonna have to do a dog collar match. So I'm trying
I'll pay for it if somebody does it and you successfully complete it. I'll pay, but if you don't, then you have to pay.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to diet a little bit, which is so hard. I actually ordered a breadless pizza that's downstairs waiting for me right now from Marco's. It's just like cheese and meat in a bowl, which sucks. Which sucks because everything I eat is carbs. I eat like a fucking 4-year-old, so it's all like shit that's bad for you.
Oh jeez, yeah. You don't have the most refined palate, so you're not eating the greatest foods. But well, thanks for having me on. I've been wanting to do this for a while since the last time I was on. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Substitute teacher Pat, or Two Legs. Sorry, I revealed your.
Oh, I don't care. People say my real name all the time.
I doxed you.
If you like it, tweet at somebody like AIW and tell them to have me on more, and I'll come back and annoy you guys.
All right, man. Well, I guess we will see each other on Friday.
See you Friday, boss.